Acting. We're back live. It's Harrowing's passing show. Little self portrait of my shadow leaning on a trash can here. Swing around. And I don't know exactly where we're going to end up. Take a little stroll down the way on our way to up afterwards. Other places. Doing what I can with what I have to make my way in the world. And I'm thinking a lot about the work, the body of work being produced, the ongoing passing show, documenting who, what, when, and where, and providing some primary documentation for historians of the future, perhaps. And doing the work is just the work, right? The writing, the substacking of experience for the benefit of anyone who happens to look on. Supported by 14 paid subscribers who form my board of directors, though they fail to direct much. That's an interesting book, The Right of the People, Democracy and the Case for a New American Founding. Who is Government, The Untold Story of Public Service. A lot of good books are out right now, and these are generally the nonfiction. We also have books in Chinese coming up, JF books next door. So that's interesting. This was a former home of Bedazzled, where I met Lynn, my wife, of 17 plus years, on our first date, May 3rd, 2007, it was. So over 18 years ago, we first met and decided we kind of liked each other. We decided we'd make our way together through life. Together through life. That reminds me of the good Bob Dylan album. If you don't know it, pick it up. It has a song on it called It's All Good, which I relate to in particular. I like to loop around a little bit, see what's going on the backside as well. Kramer Books has a little restaurant behind it called All Day. And I seem to remember getting together with friends here in like 1996 or thereabouts on a trip to see the Holocaust Museum. That was really amazing. And there's back JF Books. This is back afterwards, or what was afterwards. It's now All Day by Kramer's. I don't really need anything in there right now, but I enjoy it from time to time. I really spoiled the choice and the area and the neighborhood. Life, the universe, and everything. Yes, the usual suspects. 52. That's the days since I've embarked on a new life, a new trajectory in life. Stepping away from a congregation of sorts. With whom I participated for about 8 years. And the space where I occupy seems to have filled in without me doing much about it. So the work. The ongoing documentation of the passing show. The body of work being developed. A lot of bits and bytes, right? All filed away out there in different servers. lots of different ways in which we can connect with one another. Lost Vibes 100 is joined. Kay Stoner. Hey, good to have you, Kay. Tom Barry Sims, Kimmy Wen. If anybody wants to jump on and have a conversation, just hit me up or make a comment, and I can just add people in randomly. I've done that with Bathrobe Guy a couple of times. I haven't had him on a formal podcast yet, but we've been getting on together, and we're still in the game. That's one of the things I think is remarkable that any of us survive. The slings and arrows of outrageous fortune are continually visited upon us. And when I walk and talk and smile and look on, it's just remarkable how enclosed we tend to be. I was talking with the everyday junglist yesterday about how I feel like I'm gaseous, just expanding, less than present in my moment, globally expansive. And, maybe the Internet of Things and space and have some resonance out there too. I don't know. I don't know how far these things carry in terms of microwave radiation. It's lovely that we could just do this, though, right? I'm walking along with a cell phone in my hand, just talking aimlessly. I could be doing it through earbuds or AirPods and be even less conspicuous. I like having the camera on and picking up who, what, when, and where. And the odd flower. Look at these flowers. Amazing. And they just sit here, right? Most of us are just walking past them, hardly noticing. There's some more purple things, fuzzy purple things. I have no idea what they are. Off the top, I'm sure I could figure it out if I had an app. Don't smell much. I pinched a leaf there. Thought it might be some sort of mint. It looks very similar to some of the mints I know. Hopefully it doesn't give me contact dermatitis. Some things do. Anyway, there's all kinds of ways of suffering too. Just reading a thing about the razor throat variant of COVID, which is something I've experienced before, that feeling of like getting catch in the throat. I caught COVID again right as I got laid off August 2nd, 2024. That's the last time I was diagnosed with it. I think I got on Paxlovid right away and that mitigated some of the symptoms. But wow, man, how many times? I guess that was the third time, even though I was pretty thoroughly vaxxed. I probably ought to check out getting the flu vax and other things at Walgreens while I'm out and about. Wouldn't be hard to do. We're almost up to S Street Northwest, walking along 19th Street, as I used to do regularly with my friend Jack. She'd pick up trash. We'd walk and talk. I'd flick on the passing show thereafter, walk back to the house. So lots of little clips from those days. I don't know, man. We had a little bit of a moment on July 13th that led to my decision on July 19th to just turn my back on the fellowship for a while that we both belong to. Not turning my back on the practice of principles, but turning my back on exposing myself to a group and the general vibe of, quote, meetings, unquote, that I found to be less about demonstrating practice of principles and more about some sort of pecking order, some sort of like monkey behavior. Primates, they do that. They do that. But we know better. We have a set of principles we're supposed to be living by in all our affairs. That's the point. And not being able to see that there, I thought I'd go out here and live them myself, which I can. A lot of demolition going on here. Look at that. 1805 19th Street. Looks like there's just be the shell of the house left. That's kind of normal. This stuff happens. I'll just tear out the interior, trash it, take the bones of the building, and slap new materials in. Hopefully, quality. I don't know. I don't know how much it costs to renovate the shell of a house versus building a new one. But a lot of these are historical easements, and they need to do the job thoroughly. There's chrysanthemums. They're lovely. Yeah, so what else do I want to talk about? As I walk along, stroll and sing, see better days and I do better things. I was from On the Road by Bob Dylan. A couple of lyrics there from it. 1821. Look how pretty that house is. The details architecturally. Onward, onward. A lot of my friends are extremely wealthy. I'm not. Don't care much that I'm not, but I do what I can with what I have. Saw something I really liked on what is it called? Poetic Outlaws or something like that? Wendell Berry poem. Saw it through the guy who does that. $5 for his trouble. Bought him a coffee. I saw one of the guys I used to hang with a fair amount and decided he wanted to be alone and do some reading. And that's fine. Another one came up, tapped me on the shoulder, asked, it's like, how are you? And I was like, still breathing. He laughed. But it's true. I'm still breathing. I'm still breathing. I get to suffer another day. And that's fun. If I can share my suffering with somebody else, give it meaning. If I don't have meaning in my suffering, that's really bleak. Everything has meaning. Number of things have assaulted my retinas over the morning. Different little this and that's. What in the world's going on here? We got some heavy lifting going on or something. They're hauling cars away. Drive safely. It looks like they're getting in position for the idea that they were going to be hauling some vehicles. Is it a winch? And there's a car carrier. There's some people. One in very sparkly pants. Another one talking. They're pointing. Huh. Any idea what that's about? No? You have any idea what that's about?
No, I remember, they used to drive around with like pickup trucks picking up
Yeah.
motorcycles. I wonder if now they're just going to start taking people's cars.
Looks like it. Well, why?
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious about. Okay, well, we're docking it. Thanks for stopping. Huh. So some sort of cleanup effort, I suppose. Maybe hauling away abandoned cars? I don't know. I've got an 11 o'clock. Otherwise, I might walk over to Georgetown next time and see if I can get my car back. I probably ought to call them up anyway and see what the situation is. I haven't gotten any replies to my texts, which annoys me. Oh, man, that is some heavy equipment. Anyway, this is the, yeah, 'cause I 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 The Universal building used to have a cinema back there called Visions, turned into Fly. Now that's abandoned too. A lot of things are abandoned here. Things aren't what they used to be. I think we're going to go into Walgreens. I'll get across here. Ooh, not yet. I'll have to wait. I know my narrative is kind of fragmented. It's what it is. Oh, yes, see, we got Sandy Zajek here as well. Thank you for joining the Passing Show on Harrowings Live with Hal Gill, your host. This is part of the work, part of my practice to grab up as much information as I can about this particular point in history, because I think we're at a significant turning point. Begun to pick up self-driving cars, the Waymos, finding a way around the streets. And we're going to be having a lot of transitions, I expect. And slip across here to Walgreens, see what time the pharmacy opens. If they aren't open yet. Kind of an itch. Got free flu shots. Walk-ups are welcome. Probably ought to get my flu shot and see what else they got. Anything? And let's take a look. Grain-free cookies. What else? Conquest of abundance, folks. If nothing else, we've got abundance. All kinds of goodies. Oh, they're not open yet. When do they open? I don't know. Probably 10 o'clock. Hi. 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is when the pharmacy opens, yeah. And they're doing shots. So they're doing COVID shots too now?
I think it is. I'm not sure.
You're not sure? I'll check when they're open. I'll be back around 10-ish maybe. Thank you. And lots of supplements, huh? Not without resources. Not without materials. If it can be found, it's probably here. Definitely need to go back to the house, though. Had chili with beans, I like that, but I'm not allowed to eat it right now. Trying to cut back. Looks like they have a freezer problem again. Always like to check to make sure they still have Ben and Jerry's in case I decide to go crazy and eat it. Lots of carbs. Lots of water. Lots of resources. That's such crap. Overall, Ghosts of Alexandria. That's it. We'll come back over to the pharmacy in a little bit. But you got a quick tour of the Walgreens. The last business in the Universal building. Window up there, again, you see it through the trees, but it was my wife's office for many years. We bought a condo right across the street just about 6 months before the whole thing came crashing down. That's the way the cookie crumbles, they say. Lots of construction going on in the area. Apparently, they're preparing for something. The deck over as expected. Sooner or later. Almost tripped. Glad I didn't. Saw a jet going up out of National just now. The Passing Show goes on. This is a little bit of who, what, when, and where. Raw journalism. A little bit of primary documentation of the present moment. Check out that Mercedes bus, a charter bus. See anybody aboard? And then we have a number of vehicles. They'll have the light changing on them sooner or later. We have others coming this way. DFS 1544, one of the diplomats' vehicles there. I don't know what FS is, but probably some European nation. I'm going to look at the driver. A Rivian. So lots of different vehicles. There's a Tesla, Hyundai, Porsche. They got the yellow and the red. I get to walk. Making my way from dawn to dusk. Mid-morning, September the 9th, 2025. Got an egg and cheese on puppy seed bun on board and an Americano, coffee Americano. That was pretty good. And, just generally doing the best I can to be the change I want to see in the world. It's an idyllic world in many ways. Or head back into the bunker down in the back. I might just keep on running this for a minute as we make our way here. Looks like somebody's been doing some watering. Rather ineffectually, though, it appears. I've watered the sidewalk. I suppose they put some down on the ground. Does look like they've managed to studiously avoid watering anything in my area here. As usual, I'm being shunned for some reason. My wife wants me to pull these up. She's convinced they're going to bloom and reseed, and she's right. Well, and that, and this. And then I think that we've got some volunteer lemon balm in addition to these plants, but I've earned my keep slightly. So that's the courtyard, the gated community I live in. I'm going to go back and close the gate. I think Antonio's upstairs are working. Crepe myrtle in bloom. Japanese maple seems like it's doing all right. It's got a little bit of color on the ends of the leaves, so maybe that's just fall coming on. The holly is climbing up. The idea was this would get tall enough to block views across. My rose, it's really growing. I love my rose. Look at that. Now it's branching there. It just keeps on going. And we'll have to prune it back a bit, but sure it'll be abundant next spring. Got to figure out when I'm supposed to prune it and how. Letting it get some sugars down in the roots from what leaves it has. And so it goes. The passing show. Here we're going to get a look into the inner sanctum. Take you with me. Oh, cook closet. Deadbolts. I'm thinking of taking with me to Philadelphia tomorrow. The Awakener by Charles Haynes, who was the director of religious life at Randolph-Macon College when I was there. All things according to Baba's will. Supposedly. I'm still a skeptic. I live on the fringes of belief. Not sure, but I know how things seem to me. I could be wrong. Using this mug to heat up some water. Whew. Don't have a lot of time with you all, but you can see it's September on the calendar there. cinnamon whiskey hanging above it. I don't know if there's any smell left. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. But now a little bit of very subtle cinnamon oil flavor. Okay, we're gonna go for 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep that for about 2 minutes in the microwave. That energy is just one more expenditure, and every cent spent is a vote for the kind of world we are co-creating. We're going into the darkness now. The bunker itself, you can see some glowing lights, hear a little bit of music. We'll be tuning in with Origin there shortly and looking things up as we talk. Let's see, did I make the bet? It looks like I did. Again, darkness. Alexa, resume sound. So, shrine to my father. That clock was given to my great grandmother the day my grandpapa was born, the first Harold B. Gill. And he used to grace the mantle of the house in Orange, and then the house in 100 Underwood Road. For his 25 years of service, 1986, I believe, is when he crossed that threshold. My mother-in-law, Evelyn Bush, wasn't she lovely? You see me in the reflection. And then there's Evelyn and George W. Bush getting married. George W. Bush, the forklift driver at Latrobe Brewery for the better part of his career. My wife and I on our wedding day at the Tabard Inn. Isn't that lovely? I tell you, I'm one heck of a lucky guy. And there's my father with his teddy bear. His grandmother sewed its eyes back on when they fell off. And yeah, there's another one of George and Evelyn in later years. My father in school days. What else is new? Let's see. I don't know. Have a little stand of books over here, including Discipline is Destiny, Right Thing Right Now, and Courage Calling. 3 of the 4 virtues. I don't know if the 4th virtue is out yet or not. I'll have to check. When I was, hello, Mo Righteous. This is our little set of vanities lens makeup kit there by her sink. And we had all this done to the place when we moved in 2010. She's got a seat built in with grab bars because she suffered a stroke and is half paralyzed. So it's very good to have grab bars so she can get in and out easily. And a handheld shower attached to it, as well as the overhead. It's a really kind of compact but efficient place. I love the fact that the limestone has like visible fossils in it. It's called, I forget, something like seagrass. Anyway, I kind of dig that. So you're getting a look at the inner sanctum. I might actually get a shower, but I'm not going to take you all in there with me for that. We keep on moving. Got the lamp on in the bunker. One of the things I treasure is University Library. This is my great-grandfather's set of books up here. And it's a nice set. Little masterpieces. He was pretty well educated for a guy running an electrical supply store. These were given to my father when he retired from the Historic Trades Department bindings by the bindery there, hand done, hand tooled. Gunsmith in Colonial, Virginia, apprentices of Virginia and Gill's, Virginia. My sister has the apothecary. She just wanted the one. It's really nicely done. And Good Night, John Boy. This one was autographed by Earl Hamner to my folks when they met at Virginia Writers thing at the State Library in Richmond. Walt Whitman Handbook by Allen. Yeah, a lot of these things I've shored from my father's time. This is his book on mushrooms he photographed. He got really interested in mycology and on his walks would photograph all kinds of mushrooms he discovered in the King's Mill on the James area. Sticking full of mushroom pictures. Glad I preserved that. And me, marching in 1976 or so, newly minted corporal in the Fife and Drum Corps, Colonial Williamsburg. There's a little shrine to me here too. Me in the foundry, about 1989. Me at Falling Order. Me fifing in the 50th anniversary march, the massed corps march we did impromptu. That was really fun. Sticks from the foundry. Pair of pewter Lee sticks, as we called them, these square base ones. They were done by Mike Nofsker, my junior apprentice when I was an apprentice there. And this, a pipe tamper made by Spinberg for my father. This was in his collections. There's the little shop card that was packed with it. A couple more Berg sticks, 3 of them, and the little boutonniere, which did have a fiddlehead fern in it from my wedding. Yeah, so because my wife's pretty fond of Muka, so we've got timeless Muka from the exhibit that happened February to March 2025 at the Phillips. A couple of Milleflore from Murano and Venice that I picked up for my folks when I was in Venice in 2003. Yeah, so we gave a little tour of all the different little bits and pieces that make me up. Lapham's Quarterly's Rule of Law, the Uffizi, P.W. Singer's Wired for War down there, along with Grimm's Grimmest. Nothing if not well read, and a lot of different subjects. What else do I want to talk about here? I think that's about it. I think we're going to wrap it up and send you guys on your way. Thank you for joining. If you have, this is a passing show. A little bit of who, what, when, and where. A little documentation for historians of the future. If you ever want to know where I was and how I was living, this is pretty much it. And yeah, I just like to open myself up and share. So nice to have had 10 of you along for the ride. And anyone else have anything to say? Let's see. David Gross was here. Peace, Life, Mind, and Mind Rules. Peace, Life, Peace, Mind, Rules. Yeah. And yeah, so I'm really happy to have been able to take you on a little tour. That's all I got.